Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Hello everybody, let's learn an easy finger picking version of Silent Night on the ukulele. Not only am I going to teach you the finger picking pattern, but also some tips and tricks along the way to really help you play a smooth and even finger picking pattern. Let's get started. So the beauty of finger picking is that you can hold a chord and then you can essentially pluck any strings that you want within a rhythm or a pattern and you can't lose. My thumb is going to be assigned to the C string. My index finger will be assigned to the E string, and my middle finger will be assigned to the A string. So first, I'm going to hold a C chord just like this, and then you notice that this portion of my index finger, that's actually holding the ukulele neck, all right? If you don't have it like that, if you're holding it like this, supporting it with your thumb this way, when you switch to another chord, your neck is going to fall. So keep that pivot point right there, and then place your finger on the 3rd fret of the A string for your C chord. So first, my thumb is going to pluck the C string, my index finger the E string, and then my middle finger the A string. Then I pluck the E string again, the A string again, then back to the E string and the A string. So it will be thumb, index, middle, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, middle, index. So the counts would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. If you feel like, man, my hand's just kind of floating around, I haven't really developed my spatial awareness yet, take your pinky, place it on the top of your ukulele like this as you finger pick, or you can even hook it underneath here depending upon how large your ukulele is. Just having an anchor point really helps when you're finger picking, rather than feeling like your hand is just floating around in no man's land. So let's try that on the C chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now when we get to the verse, because that's an intro right there, we're just playing a C chord for 2 measures or 6 counts or 2 full finger picking pattern cycles. When we get to the verse, we have 4 measures of C, or 4 finger picking pattern cycles. We get to a G7 for 2 measures, and then a C for 2 measures. So the finger picking pattern is actually going to remain the same for every single chord change. Okay? So we have our C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and. Holy night. Now find a G7. All is calm. Now slide into C. All is bright. So do you see how I'm just plucking these 3 strings in that same pattern, and no matter how I change my fingers, you're going to hear the chord change, you're going to be picking different notes, it's going to fit, it's going to work. Okay, so let's try that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Silent night, holy night. G7, slide that ring finger over to the 2nd fret, plant your index finger, and then your middle finger. All is calm. Slide into C. All is bright. See how I said slide into C? We're right here. That ring finger is going to whoop, slide in, and you see how this portion of my finger, now I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, how that stays in contact with the neck of my ukulele. Oh, my neck doesn't fall. Smooth chord transition like that. If you need just to practice your C to your G7 before you start finger picking, I highly recommend it if you're just not confident with that chord change yet. Now, round yon virgin, we have an F chord. You're going to notice that I'm still going to be plucking the C, E, and the E strings. I'm not going to be plucking the G string, but you're like, hey, Katie, why are you holding that, your middle finger on the 2nd fret? Well, we're not perfect people, so I keep that as a safeguard. If you leave it open, it may sound a little cool, but it doesn't quite fit for that F chord. So let's have that F chord for 2 measures. Back to a C, F chord, then back to a C. Okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Round yon virgin C, mother and C. F, holy infant, so C. 1 and 2 and 3 and sleep in heavenly peace. We have a G7 for 2 measures, slide into C. Then a C for a measure, G7 for a measure, and then C for 2 measures. Let's try that. G7. 1 and 2 and 3. Sleep in heavenly C. Is sleep. G7. 1 and 2 and 3. Slide in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. And there you have it. If you want more free tutorials, I'm going to link them over here. But if you're like, man, I would really love a solid place to start with the ukulele. I mean, I'm learning things here and there, bits and pieces like online. But if you want a solid place to start, I made an ukulele course where you can learn the fun, the fast, and the stress-free way. Takes you from beginner to a confident beginner so that you'd be able to fly on your own by the end of the course. I'm going to link that over here, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember, you are loved. Bye.